Hey,
Hi, can you hear
hello.
me all right?
Hi, Veronica. Hello, everyone who's joining us. It's so nice to see you. Uh, this should go pretty smoothly. We know what we're going to do, but this is my very first podcast with Interior Perspective, and I'm so excited and happy to have Veronica as my first guest. We actually have the same clients and we do very different things. So that's kind of what we're going to discuss today. Uh, Welcome to An Interior Perspective with myself, Melissa Tossell. If you follow me here on Instagram, where we're doing this live, you already know who I am. But if you are watching this as a podcast later, or you're watching this as a video on one of my platforms, you may not know who I am. I'll introduce myself in a second. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna discuss how we help our clients live their best life, and it's an excellent, cool topic for today. So I'm gonna do a little short introduction. I am Melissa Tossell. I am owner and registered interior designer here at Sonora Design, where we build homes that help you live your best life with intuitive, intelligent, quality design and a sense of humor. We do full service design build for busy people, usually with renovations and custom homes, but we also do some other things on the side. And I'm very passionate about these topics. So Interior Perspective moving forward will be a little mix of some interior design, but mostly touching on how to live your best life in other areas other than interior design, and then touching on that as well. So Veronica, why don't you share with everyone who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Melissa. Hi, everyone. I'm Veronica. I'm a portrait photographer. I own my own full-service studio here in Toronto, and I specialize in helping camera-shy people feel and look their best in photos. And very similar to Melissa, I believe that I'm helping people live their best lives through loving themselves a little bit more, because we all have very particular ideas and feelings about how we look. And there is always something that we don't like about ourselves or being hard on ourselves. And I feel like through photography done right, you can really make peace with yourself and love yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, I love that. I love that about you. We're going to talk a little bit about what on earth does living your best life have to do with what we each of us do, and what might there be in common. Because it doesn't seem like there's like one really obvious one, but there's a lot of other unobvious stuff.
You're going to say what's obvious because maybe it's obvious for us, but not for other people.
Right. However, I did want to say I'm excited that Veronica is going to share. I think one of the most exciting things she does is a thing she's very passionate about, that's 40 over 40 for women. She's going to share more about that and how she helps them live their best life. It's such a cool project to me. But there's a couple ways we have things in common. The really obvious one is, as you can see behind me, artwork and photos. Obviously, one of her photos could go on my project walls or be my client. However, that's too obvious, guys. Come on, we could dig deeper than that. What we really connected on more than that, because I've had a lot of people say, hang my stuff in your projects. And I was like, well, we do bespoke design here. That means it's tailored to each of my clients. And art is a very personal thing. I don't just pick out artwork for my clients, much like all the stuff you see behind me. I picked all of that out. No one just like put it on my wall to make it pretty. So that's a very important thing to me. And I think this still ties into that. So the other one is our clients are the same clients. So our clients love to dig deeper. They want a deeper experience. Normally, they're excellent leaders in their businesses and their workspaces. They lead from within rather than in front or behind. They're always educating themselves. They believe in things like mindset or vibrations or things like that, self-improvement. So we have the same client. I'm helping you build a foundation for the rest of your life, and Veronica here is helping you with the self-care part. And I know our psychographic, they call it, that we share in common, does actually sometimes have that inability. Oh, yay. I know it's so exciting to see everyone join at the bottom when we're doing this live. Our psychographic actually sometimes shares that, like, they give so much of themselves, but they don't do enough self-care. So I think the great part to start would be with you, Veronica. If you want to dig a little more into how your experience helps people with that self-care and maybe looking at themselves in a better light so that moving forward they can take better care of themselves. Absolutely. And value themselves.
Yeah. Well, since you mentioned 40 over 40, I'm just going to give a little bit of background of what it is. So 40 over 40 is my biggest campaign that I've ever run in my business. It's basically inviting women over 40 to do something for themselves, to just stop and think. You know, a lot of times women get to their 40s and they've been spending so much time taking care about their families, their children, their husbands, their careers. Everything else comes first. And then suddenly you're in your 40s or 50s and you stop and say, whoa, but what about me? So these are people who actually stop, because a lot of times people just go through their life and they never even think about what they're doing, right? So as you say, Melissa, our clients, my clients, they are busy, but then they are those people who do stop and think, what do I want for myself? How do I feel better about myself? And so 40 over 40, this is really an invitation, a motivation, an inspiration for people, for women to show themselves, to step into the spotlight, and basically to show the world that women are beautiful in every age, shape, and size. So, and I forgot the question because I started talking about this.
How would this help someone? Well, one, you could talk about how that helps them live their best life.
Right.
But the question I said in particular was, how do you feel that your photography would help someone moving forward be able to take better care of themselves or see themselves in a different light?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I started talking about women over 40, because I believe photography is just a tool. I'm not selling a pretty picture, same as Melissa doesn't sell a piece of furniture, right? So it's all about confidence, for me at least. It's all about confidence, how you see yourself. A lot of times I work with such beautiful people and they have such hard times looking at themselves and just like seeing themselves through a different perspective. And so what I do, the way I really believe I make people's life better, is because once the process is done right, once I take care to listen, to understand what's important to them, how they see themselves, you know, how they describe themselves, what they like or don't like maybe about themselves, what they're working towards. Once I know them a little bit more, I can actually capture it. And then all these tools and all the techniques, they come in place, and nobody needs to know about my lighting setups or backgrounds or how I do posing. What they need to know is how they feel about themselves and that I care to understand that. And through creating photos that match someone's vision of themselves and helping them choose these photos, in the end, we are left with the selection that basically defines this person of how they are. And the biggest reward for me is having people who never saw themselves like properly, who never saw themselves on photos as they are. It's always selfies that are distorted, and then they chew in, and then food falls out of their mouths. So of course you don't like those photos. But then they see themselves on professional photos and they go, wow, that's me. And that's why like artificial intelligence and all these like fancy tools there, I don't think of them as competition, because it's like, if you place your face on someone's body and you look at this great picture, you're like, you have no feelings about it. Actually, maybe you even feel worse about yourself. But what I create is actually taking photos of real people and then helping them make peace with who they are, because they actually can look good. Everybody can look good.
Right. Exactly. We might be wondering at this point, but what on earth does interior design have to do with any of this? Maybe not. I already told you. I help you live your best life video foundation. So what we do in my practice, and it's not, this is not reinventing a wheel, guys. Like so many of us that do bespoke design in such a way, we do something very similar. I dig very deep with my clients. However, I am an empath, and I also have a lot of other crazy, cool spiritual abilities that I have developed over the past couple of years. And I have always had that intuitive portion of my design and what I do. So I dig deeper. So I want to tell you a little story to kind of set the mood as to how I help you live your best life and why it's a foundation. So picture this. You wake up in the morning. You didn't sleep well. You're grumpy. I don't know, maybe the curtains aren't right. Maybe you don't have like light blocking curtains. It's really bright in there. You didn't sleep well. You're grumpy. Okay, I'm going to get up. I'm going to go get ready for it. We're going to have a good day. We're going to have a good day. I'm going to do this. And then you go into the bathroom and you're like, one of the sinks doesn't work. And your partner's a slob. So now you have to share the sink. And you're like, nope, I'm going to do, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. I'm going to do this. And then you go to take a shower. The shower head isn't working. So you have a terrible shower. You're like, it's going to be a great day today. I'm going to do it. And then you go into the kitchen and your kids are sharing the counter. They didn't do their homework. They're doing their homework last minute, or like you're trying to create their lunches and you're trying to make breakfast for them and everyone's underfoot and it's incredibly stressful. So after that morning, if you get in your car and you go to your job, do you think you're going to have a really easy time shifting your mindset and achieving better goals and, you know, reaching for something more and manifesting really wonderful things if this is what you deal with every day? Versus how different would it be if when you had that morning experience, everything just went well? Like you woke up and you're like, God, I slept so well. Man, I love my bedroom. And then you go to your bathroom and you're like, oh man, everything works. Like I don't have to put up with my partners. Like they have got their own stuff over there. I've definitely heard the partner thing where one of the partners uses like 5 devices in the morning. That's one of the things we do. If you need 6 plugs on your side and your partner only needs 2, we're going to put it in that way so that it's easier. So that's what I do with things. So we dig a lot deeper. We don't just with Veronica, it's not just about taking photos. It's about looking into routines. It's having a very deep experience in the beginning of both of our processes to get to know you as a person and to dig a little deeper than people might otherwise, or if you did this yourself, you wouldn't know to dig that deep.
If I can jump in and say, because I think to me interior design and photography, at least the way I do it, is so it's so linked, and so I kind of want to make it obvious if you don't mind, or just make sense maybe out of it, because initially the way we met with Melissa is that I basically reached out to her on LinkedIn because I was specifically looking for interior designers. And the reason I was looking for interior designers is that one small part of my work, well, maybe not so small, but I actually do specialize in wall art design. I'm not trying to be an interior designer, of course. I don't know much about that. But when I see an interior design that's already there, I get ideas. I get ideas for style, and so we can create portraits that fit in this style. We can choose outfits, backgrounds, lighting that will all fit in the style. And so whenever Melissa comes from the point of view, from the thinking of like, what is the functional side, right? What are your tastes? What are your, like, how is your life organized, right? So all of that is directly tied to how people see themselves, right? Because this style that flows over into their clothing style, into what they do. And when I do my consultations in a very similar way that Melissa does, when I ask people, well, what do you like? What do you do in your free time? And then all their hobbies and their lifestyle, it all comes into play, and then we bring it into photography. So maybe the link is not that obvious, but to me it is.
Yeah, of course. And it's that I really love, so we're really picky about who we work with at Interior Design. And most people think we're actually, I have a discovery call with a new client right after this at 11. And their fear is that this is too small for you. And like that, budgets and project size is not the limiting factor, it's clients. Because every single one of us at Interior Design care very deeply about what we do. And for me to dig this deep with a client, I put a lot into this in order to dig deeply, because as an empath, it's not just the questions I ask you, it's how you answer them. It's how you didn't answer them. It's what you did say about the other people and what you didn't say about them. All of this stuff I read in between as I'm doing this collecting. So we're very picky about who we work with. And that is because it's the people that matter, because we care so deeply. And I know it's the same with Veronica. We discussed this, that it's not even a price point, because if like you just do a consultation with me, but I love you to pieces, I'm happy to do that 2-hour consultation with you, even though it's not really that much money in the long run. But I've helped change people's lives by changing their mentality before. So that's just so rewarding. And I know with you, Veronica, even if someone doesn't do like buy all of the add-ons ever afterwards, if they had that moment of awakening where they're like, this is what I look like to other people, I love this. This feels like me. I've never loved a picture of myself before. That's just, to me, that's really life-changing. And I know I spent, buddy, 2 full days of photography for my headshots, by the way. I went all in. But it's a similar thing where it's that beautiful process of getting to see yourself. And I was just discussing yesterday with someone that, you know, when you have your fake smile, you're like, I'm taking an Instagram smile versus your real smile. And for me, the photos I got that I really love, like the one that's my avatar for Instagram and most of my platforms, it's a real smile. It's coming from my heart. And when that comes out, people get to see me. And I really love that about it. So I think we can wrap up. I think we touched on this really well. I want you guys to be able to find both of us. Obviously, if you're watching live, it's really, hi Taylor Career. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's lovely to see you guys here. I want you guys to know where to find us. So if you're watching live, obviously you can go to my Instagram profile and her Instagram profile and see us. However, you can find me at Sonura Design. If you're watching this on any platform, it's spelled the exact same way. And you can book a discovery call with us. That's how you get started. You can actually book one directly on my website. And there are links to it in my Instagram and other things like that. And Veronica, after this, if someone wants to look into anything you do, if they want to hire you, how do they find you?
The best way is just to go to my Instagram or my website, which is Vong Art, like Vogue, but with an N. Please do not confuse. Vong Art on Instagram or vongart.com. And I will just take a second to invite any ladies over 40, or if you have your mom or your grandma who never had a photo shoot, or maybe it was 50 years ago, I have last 10 spots left in my campaign. I'm really looking forward to wrapping it up. I will be creating a magazine like this. This is from my last year. And each person gets to be a model in this magazine. And I tell their stories. I take their interviews. It's a really cool, fantastic experience for any woman who wants to feel beautiful. And that's any woman. So if you know anyone, please let them know about that. I would love to create this beautiful experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everyone who joined us live. And thank you for everyone who is joining us afterwards and watching this recorded video or the podcast.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys join us on another episode with another cool guest, and have a wonderful day, everybody.